Okay, so welcome to the presentation of my Unit 12 proposal for my final end of year project. The project will be called Two Ways. It's a production project. And yeah. So that's just the art that I'll be using for the project. I feel like it sort of gives a vintage vibe. It's a picture of me from when I was just a little toddler. Obviously, the tracks that I'm going to be making are quite UK underground, which is resemblance of how the UK sort of built an industry. So for context, my name is Jack O'Neill, or OJ as my stage name. I'm a rapper, producer, specialising in hip hop and drum and bass. I got goals in the future of creating a band and record label to help others achieve their dreams. Two Ways is the title of the project. It's a demonstration of new skills in production and a showcase of my best work overall. It's also a chance for me to sort of hone my skills and sort of showcase what I've learned through my research. The project is a stepping stone towards my greater goals in my career.
Which are what?
So in my career, the goals are, well, as I said, they're creating a brand record label to help others achieve their dreams. I'll be using sources such as Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, and ChatGPT, which is an AI information generator. In terms of YouTube, I'll be looking at the work of people like Jacob Collier, David Pensado, and others via online masterclasses. I'll be putting this research to use and finding my own style from it through trial and error. My main focuses for research are going to be music theory, production techniques, and studio performance techniques. Things like, I noted about headphones, keeping the mix right in my headphones is something that I don't really do. So yeah, obviously the research is going to help me to produce these skills. I'm looking to build skills within a more advanced style of theory than what I currently practice. Listening is key for inspiration and training my ears. This will give me a good understanding of getting the professional quality that I really want, bringing my mixes to a place where I'm happy with, a place where they could potentially get radio plays. Some of the main problems I face are with fullness and emphasis on important areas of songs, so like build-ups and bridges, especially in drum and bass. These can sometimes sound very bare. Sorry. EQ on low end has always been a struggle for me, something that I would really like to improve on massively. Overall, I consider myself to be very good at problem solving when I put effort in and perseverance. I believe there is no obstacle too great to overcome in music. To solve these problems, I'm going to need to practice thoroughly via trial and error, training my ears, extensive research throughout the entire project on anything that I have to overcome. I think this is necessary. I'll be using new music theory skills like chords and harmonies to give my music fullness. I looked into things like tritones, and another example was reharmonization, which I thought was really cool. Just using different harmonies in a melody to really change the vibe of a song. Obviously in the past I've had some health issues. I had damage to my larynx. This prevented me from performing vocals for quite a while. To prevent this, obviously I need to take better care of my health and warm up my voice properly before I perform vocals. So in planning and production, I've split into 5 phases. I've got phase 1, which is initial research, learning about the harmonies, scales and modes, and extended music theory as a whole. Phase 2, I've got pre-production, writing lyrics for the tracks, finding sounds and instruments for production, sound design in Serum, so I like to make my own synths and try and make melodies from there. Listening to inspiration tracks, this is huge for me. I find I sort of like to emulate different areas of different songs and piece them together to really build the track that I'm looking to create. In production then, in phase 3, I'll be using selected sounds and lyrics to piece together tracks, vocal recording, extended research and listening. Vocal recording is going to be the biggest, well, it's going to take the most amount of time for me, I think, because I just want to get it right. I want to do as many takes as I can, and then obviously select the best ones. In mixing, I'll spend 2 weeks making my tracks sound right, using skills I already know and new skills from my research prior to the production. Phase 5 then, presentation. This project will be presented as an EP. I'll spend a week on turning this project into a finished product and uploading to all streaming services, as well as creating a website portfolio where I will obviously have loads of pages to evaluate, conclude it, and present it. So for practical skills, I'm going to be using a lot of new skills and skills that I already know. Sound design, vocal recording, automation and songwriting are going to be the biggest sort of skills that I use in the project. Some skills I need to obtain are working on drum patterns. I've worked with a lot of loops in the past where I've sort of chopped them up, sort of made them my own. Now I really want to get into making my own drums, processing them properly. EQ control, again, I need to train my ears to make sure that EQ control is where I need it to be, especially in the low end. Harmonization, again, as I said earlier, harmonization and reharmonization, something I've really been researching, something that I want to bring forward into my music. Vocal performance in a studio setting, so the techniques that I've learned are like positional, where I'm standing, again the mix in the headphones is really important for me, and I tend to drop volume in my voice midway through my vocals. I think this is something that I'm looking to work on through my research. Bass synth processing sort of comes into EQ control as well. Again, the low end, I really struggle with getting the right mix on it, making it sit in the right place in the mix. So my research will help me with that. Evaluation and reflection. In my project, I'll need to keep track of my progress. I'll do this by documenting changes and decisions. I will do this by keeping a record of multiple creative choices. Write about problems and how I solved them. Documenting research so that I can return to certain areas if needed. To evaluate my work, I will use the following methods. Reflecting on how my project compares to my proposal. How did I use my own research? And did I give myself enough time for each phase? I think these are really important things to look at because they will help me in the future if I come into problems with time management and research. So for presentation, the documentation will all be uploaded to a website portfolio with screenshots, audio files, and videos to give context. The song I produce will be uploaded to Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all streaming platforms as well. My Wix website portfolio will have a page dedicated to the progression of the project, also a page dedicated to the final product, and a page for the evaluation of my work. A page for reflection on my final thoughts and opinions on how things went. Could sort of tie into evaluation, but I really like to sort of note down a lot to to again help in the future when I need to come back to what I did on this project and how I can use that to build a new project. That's it. Any questions?